Can I tell you something that might completely change the way you talk about interior design? Your home does not need to be luxury. It doesn't need to be timeless. And honestly, even calling your home modern might not mean what you think it means, because interior design has developed its own little dictionary of fancy words that sound impressive. And the funny part? I've used many of these words too. So today, let's retire some of the most overused interior design phrases and replace them with something much more useful. Pop of color. Let's start with the phrase we've all heard 1,000 times. Add a pop of color. You have a completely beige room, add a yellow cushion. Neutral sofa, add a colorful artwork. And suddenly, apparently, we've solved the design problem. But color shouldn't just be decoration you throw into a boring room. Where can I add a pop of color? Ask. Next one, modern. This word gets used for almost everything. Modern kitchen, modern bedroom, modern furniture, modern house. But here's the problem. Modern design actually refers to a specific movement, while contemporary generally describes what is popular. So if you say, I want a modern home, I'd immediately ask, modern in what way? Clean lines? Minimal furniture? Because a word that can describe almost anything isn't very helpful. Third is luxury vinyl, a phrase that sounds like a marketing department invented it. Luxury vinyl. The material can absolutely be practical. It's durable, and depending on the product, it can look really good. But putting the word luxury in front of it doesn't magically make it luxurious. And this is something I want you to remember. Luxury is not a material. A beautiful space can use inexpensive materials, and an expensive space can still look completely uninspired. Luxury is often more about proportion, detailing, lighting, craftsmanship, and how everything works together. Then fourth one is European interiors. But Europe is an entire continent. A Parisian apartment and a Scandinavian home aren't gonna look the same, and neither is a Mediterranean villa. So when someone tells you something is European style, ask, which part of Europe are we talking about? French, Italian, Scandinavian, Mediterranean? Being specific makes your design choices much easier. Elevated. Now here's one I think we've all become slightly obsessed with. Elevated. Elevated basics. Elevated living. Sometimes it feels like we're taking a completely ordinary object and adding the word elevated so it sounds expensive. But instead of asking whether something looks elevated, ask, does it look intentional? Does it work with the rest of your room? Is the scale right? Is the material appropriate? Does it make your life better? Because good design doesn't need a fancy adjective. So maybe we don't actually need to retire these words completely. Maybe we just need to stop letting them make our decisions for us. Because your home doesn't need to be luxury, timeless, elevated, designer-approved, or Instagrammable. It needs to be intentional, comfortable, and yours. And honestly, I think that's what great interior design is really about. So tell me in the comments, what interior design phrase do you think needs to be retired? And if you at interior design a little differently today, subscribe, because in my next video, we're going one step further. I'm going to show you the interior design rules that are actually worth following and the ones you can completely ignore. You definitely don't want to miss that one. See you there.